We've used Claude to make our clients multiple six figures a month in sales. And Claude is the primary AI tool that we use for all of our marketing. So we use Claude to design our funnels now. We use Claude to write all of our copy, our ads, and so on and so forth. We use Claude for market research. We use Claude for webinar slides, for webinar scripts. Literally everything we do right now for clients is done through Claude. So I'm going to show you the best practices that we have in order to get the best results for our clients while using Claude and AI is what I'm going to walk you through step by step inside of this video. So the first thing is just having a creative brief. And if you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at my notes, by the way. But the first thing is having a creative brief. So a creative brief is a document that you put together that has all of your market research embedded in it. So you're going to have your sales argument in that creative brief. You're going to have your problems, the pain points of your market, the desires of your market, your unique mechanism, details about your product and how your product is structured, your offer, your guarantee. Literally all the detail about your offer is what you're going to put in that creative brief. And the reason why you need this creative brief is because if you just go to Claude or you go to AI right now and you say, oh, write me an email for my fitness coaching business, it has zero context into who your ideal customer is, into how you want to best present yourself to the marketplace, and so on and so forth. It literally has no context whatsoever. So you're not going to get the best results if you do that, compared to if you have a creative brief where you have all of these very specific detail in place. So now when you create this brief, you now want to create a Claude project pretty much. And then you now want to have that be the house for the particular client, or in this case for yourself, where you call this, oh, my fitness coaching business, my med spa coaching business, or whatever kind of business that you have. And you now want to have that creative brief inside of that project so that whenever you want to write any copy in the future or do any form of marketing in the future, you're literally just going to have that brief. You're basically going to refer back to that project, and then you're going to write the copy within that project. So Claude has all the context that it needs in order for it to get you the best possible results from your marketing. So once you have the creative brief in place, another thing I like to do as well, just to make the project a lot more robust and even give Claude way more context to work with, is I also like to add transcripts from the client's testimonials. So literally all the client testimonials, I'm going to transcribe every single one of them, either they are case study interviews or whatever they might be. Then I'm going to add that to the project too as well. All of the client's YouTube videos, at least the main YouTube videos where the client is talking about step by step how to actually do the thing or how to help them achieve their goals and their outcomes. I am going to also take all of those YouTube videos, put them in the projects too as well. That way you're getting just all of the ideology of the client and how the client thinks, how they operate, how they structure their product, how they structure their service, and so on and so forth. You're getting all of those things in place, and then you're adding that to the project too as well. And then once you have the case studies, the testimonials, the YouTube videos, if you want, you could even upload your course. It depends on you. If you have like a 10-ish hour course, you can transcribe it and put that into there. You can upload your coaching calls. Basically, as much context as possible is what you want to add into that project, so that once you're about to start writing copy, you could just say one or two words. You don't even have to prompt. So unlike most people that prefer to go crazy with the prompting and have like these very long 20-page prompts that is just very specific, and they are trying to make you do like one magical thing with this insane prompt, I don't prompt that well. I just really focus on the process around creating the copy or creating the stuff I'm trying to write, right? And then when you're not about to prompt, you just have to say very simple things and then you're good to go. So once you make this project, you basically want to put as much resources as possible in the project. And then when the time now comes to now start writing stuff, it becomes really easy for you to write the copy, write the ad script, the emails, the landing page, the sales page, the webinar script, and so on and so forth. Now, the next thing is actually modeling and sharing examples. So I don't write anything from scratch if I'm writing, say I'm writing ads, or I'm writing emails, I'm writing all of these things, I rarely do that from scratch. What I am doing is we have this massive Notion board in our company that has at least 100+ examples of ads, emails, scripts, VSL scripts, literal multiple examples that we just have in our company right now, so that if I want to create anything for a client right now, I'm not starting from zero, right? I'm basically going into that archive of proven things that have worked, not just only for us, but for multiple other clients and multiple other people in the space right now too as well. And I'm taking that and using that as the foundation if I want to create something. So let's say, for example, I want to create a welcome email for my webinar funnel. I'm not going into Claude and saying and trying to prompt it to try and say, oh, write me this perfect welcome email, include this, and that. That's not what I'm doing. I'm going to my template drive and I'm taking 5-6 examples of welcome emails that have worked really well. I'm putting all of that into the Claude project or into like the charts now, because I'm about to write the actual copy. And then I'm saying, oh, I'm basically telling it to review all of these, turn it into like a framework or a structure, and then based on the principles that you found that made these ones work, now write my own welcome email for me based on all the details I have in my project. So this way, you're not only getting the best possible templates and the results, but it has all your context because you've taken your time to really create that project with Claude. And it's extremely important that you actually do that if you want to see any form of great examples with this. So now that is for writing. If I'm writing anything, I am going to be leveraging an example of some sorts so that I'm not starting from ground zero whenever I have access to these and I'm trying to create assets for our clients. Now, to take it one step further, because it's not every time you're going to be writing. Sometimes you're trying to draft or create an offer for a client. You need ideas for bonuses, right? You're writing a webinar script and you want to know what your 3 main objections you want to overcome is going to be. You want to know how to structure your guarantee. Those things that require some more thinking and some intellect. What you do instead is you're going to use frameworks. So again, I literally have a full page document where I took someone's book, which is I think Jason Fladlin's One to Many book, and I was reading through the book, noting down all the best parts of the book that are actually implementable. And now when I want to make a webinar script from scratch, I am basically feeding that step-by-step instructions into the chat, and I'm creating the webinar sections one by one in that way. So you're going to have courses, you're going to have YouTube videos, you're going to have books, articles, emails, whatever you have that is actually tactical. You want to save as many of that as possible so that when you want to create a Claude, anything that has to do with those things, you just basically take the framework, you feed it into the chat, and then it follows the process for you. Of course, you still have to use your brain and like review things properly, but it follows the process for you, and then you literally have that in place, and then you can implement anything you want to implement. Oh, you want to use this specific real creating framework that you found. You just basically take the framework, upload it into the chat, and then you're good to go. Now, if you want to take it one step further, what you want to do is basically use Claude Code. And with Claude Code, you could basically download Claude on your PC or your Mac, and then you can feed that framework to Claude Code and ask it to save the SOP or the framework. So that whenever you want to recreate something else very similar to that from scratch, you just literally need to reference the SOP and say, oh, I need my webinar SOP, and it's going to reference that to do the task that you want it to do. Or you could use Claude Skills too as well. If you don't want to use Claude Code, you could use Claude Skills. So based on the framework, you could create like a Claude skill for a very specific thing so that even within your projects, you can literally reference those skills one by one, and then you can do as many stuff as you literally want to do, to be fair. And those two things alone is going to save you a lot of time, and you actually get very good outputs with doing that. The next thing is kind of just AI slop, and that's kind of like the biggest problem with this that I see, because if you write or create anything with Claude or any AI tool, to be fair, you're going to get a lot of AI slop. You're going to see a lot of M dashes. It's going to have that repetition. Oh, it's not X, not Y, but it's Z. You're going to have a lot of bullshit that just makes your copy look really weird and cringe. So I've tried multiple things to try and mitigate this. One of them is literally having a Claude project that is just titled anti-AI slop. And then whenever we write any piece of copy, we basically paste that into the anti-AI slop project, or like the skill, and that reviews the copy, edits it, removes all the AI slop, and then your copy should in some cases be good to go, but you still have to edit, right? So I don't see using Claude as something where it's going to basically replace the work that we do completely. So normally if it would take me 5 hours, like literally I just wrote like 10 value dense 500 word emails in about 3 hours. Normally if I was doing that before, back in the day, that would take me like 10 hours plus, because it would take me like 1+ hour to write each of those emails, but it took me like 3 hours ish to write those emails. So it's not that you're going to basically not write the emails at all and then you'll be done in 2 minutes. You will still get like some really good output, but you're going to need to edit it like really, really well, because it needs a lot of work with the edit, and I'll show you how to edit way faster in a second. But anyways, the AI slop thing, the first thing I tried was the project, and then I took it one step further when Claude released this memory thing where it allows you to save like stuff to memory. And then I embedded the anti-AI slop like SOP that we have into the Claude memory. If you use Claude Code, you could have it be like a rule that before you produce any form of copywriting to me, make sure you run it through this AI slop first. So these are the things we've done to try and mitigate it. But again, even when you have all those things in place, when you read through the copy, you're still going to have AI slop in it. And then before we ship anything, of course, you need to edit it. You need to read it out loud, word for word. Like, what's so crazy about this is when you are like reading the copy, if you just like murmur the thing and like you read it in your mind, or like you read it but you don't read it out loud enough, it's not the same. Like the way you edit a copy that you read out loud, like you actually read it like you're talking to an audience, how much better your edit would be if you do that is very, very different from you just like whispering the thing in your mind, or just not saying it out loud. So it's very important to actually read the copy out loud. So if you do that, you'll catch all the nonsense that Claude is going to add, and you're going to have copy that is way better than anything you can imagine, pretty much. So you basically want to have that in place. And then if you want to take this to the next level, I'm exaggerating here, but if you want to take this to the next stage and you want to make this really good and really fast to make your edits, if I need to write 10 emails, for example, I would edit the first one, really take my time. Let's say I have 3 hours to write 10 emails. The first 1 hour is going to be definitely just using AI to write it, the prompting, getting the examples I need, coming up with the ideas, which is another very important thing. AI is not too good at coming up with ideas. If you have a framework for coming up with ideas and it has all the context, then it might work. Because I know back in the day, I used to basically just put the client's challenges and come up with a bunch of email ideas that way. So if you have context and you have the right things to pull from, you will get really good ideas. But you come up with the ideas, you do the research, you have it use the framework to write the email. So let's say he has written 10 plus emails and I have 10 emails ready to go. I would spend my first like 30 plus minutes editing the first email and making sure that I do my best to make sure that that is properly edited to the best of my ability. And then you now feed the edited version to the AI chat that you're currently working with. And then you basically tell it to tell you the differences between this one that you just edited and the one that it wrote for you. And tell it to list out every single difference with the tone, the structure, the psychological principles, the things that you cut, the things you added, and so on and so forth. It will list out all of these things for you. And then for the future ones, because it's AI operates in patterns, right? So if it makes a mistake with one of them, it's going to make the same mistake with the other 9 emails. So the future emails, you just copy and paste it in that same chat and say, oh, based on these differences you found between my own edits and your own edits, make the edits to this new draft. And then you're going to find it will take you way less time to edit, because it will have removed like about 80% of the nonsense if you do that process, and then you just do the remaining 20% on your own, because you still have to edit it. Even after you've done this process, you still have to edit it and read it out loud and so on and so forth. And then you do this process with your own, and then you're good to go pretty much. So it works insanely well. And these are just some of the things that we use to help our clients really crush it with Claude. Saves us a lot of time, reduces like our overhead so much. Like right now, we only have me, my business partner, who is our media buyer, a copywriter, just because we write a lot of copy We do emails, ads, webinar scripts, and so on and so forth. Our copywriter also helps with our image creatives for ads too as well. We have an operations manager, which helps us with like funnel design and stuff. And we have a video editor. And that's all we use to manage all the clients we have right now. And there's one thing I forgot to mention as well is you can also use Claude for your design and your funnel design right now. And the same thing, you basically show it an example of the page you're trying to model. You give it the copy that you want to use, and then you ask it to write the HTML code. And then you just take that code and you put that into Go High Level, and then you're good to go. So literally that's what my operations manager does right now to edit our funnels. And like we literally fired our designer like 3-4 months ago, and we haven't felt it because we have Claude in place. So let me know if this was useful. Please subscribe. I'm really trying to grow this channel in the next couple of months. So subscribe if this was useful to you. Like the video, share it. And if you have any comments or anything you want me to cover in future videos, let me know as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.